About ready for yours, man?
Oh, yeah. So this was a little bit shorter than the last one. He prefaced this by saying this was a story that his teacher told him, and he's writing in a first person. So it's not him this happened to, but it's his school teacher, a high school teacher that happened to him. I was on a business trip in Washington State for a couple of days coming from Utah. Once the trip was over, I was driving back home, but I didn't bother getting any rest before driving. I've been driving for almost 4 hours, and I was in the middle of nowhere, but all I really cared about was finding a hotel so I can get some sleep. After 30 minutes, at around midnight, I found a hotel, so I pulled up and got a room. Took a shower so I could go to sleep. Was brushing my teeth, and I hear a couple arguing from the room next to mine. I wanted to check if everything was okay, but the same, it really wasn't any of my business, so I ignored it. After falling asleep, I wake up at like 4 a.m., and in that same room next to me, I hear a woman crying. I decided maybe I should finally see what's happening. So I went outside and went next door to the room, and I was about ready to knock to see if everything was okay. At the last moment, I had second thoughts. I decided not to knock, but I did see a keyhole. I decided to look through it. I saw a woman, but her back was facing the door. I ended up leaving it alone. Then I went back to sleep. Woke up again at 6 a.m., got ready, packed my bags. I left my room. Right before I started to make my way to the front desk, I wanted to check one more time through the keyhole where the woman was staying at. It was weird, but I just couldn't help myself. When I looked, the keyhole, all I saw was a red light on the other side, completely covering the keyhole. I didn't know what to make of it and just left it alone. I returned the key to the lady at the front desk and asked her, "Excuse me, do you know anything about the room next to mine? I kept hearing noises throughout the night, and I'm just wondering if you heard anything about the couple that was staying there." She said, "Oh yeah, that room. That room is haunted, and that's where the woman with the red eyes lives."
I didn't know you were done. I was still muted. Yeah, I didn't even know you're done.
Yeah, that was the end of it, yeah.
First of all, what kind of hotel is this with keyholes still?
This was the old backwoods hotel here.
Oh, so it wasn't lights he was seeing when he looking through that.
Right in the eye.
Oh my gosh. Looking right back at him. Some bitch.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
I read that, and I got to the end. Like, up until that point, I wasn't sure if this was going to be worth reading. I was going to go for another one. And then I got to that point, I was like, oh, okay, this is a really crazy one.
Didn't it nonchalantly just be like, oh yeah, that room's haunted?
Yeah.
Didn't you know? Shit. Like,
that's how I would be, though.
You didn't tell me I was next to a haunted room? You know?
And that's kind of how I would act, though. If I knew that one of the rooms was haunted and they brought it up, I'd be like, oh, yeah, shit, that was.
So it all started by hearing noises. What did you say the noises were again?
Like, an argument, a couple arguing or something like that. And then finally he went to sleep and heard her crying. I will say, this is why you don't look in keyholes.
I'm trying to think of the game. Hello Neighbor, that video game. You ever played that?
Yeah, I played it, yeah.
You look through that peephole, to see if the neighbor's in there. That's what this kind of reminded me of,
Mate, I'm trying to think of the last time I've seen a door, period, with a keyhole that you could see through. Like, there's always so many of those.
Yeah, because obviously keys got smaller and smaller over the years.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. What kind of hotel is this? Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre hotel or what,
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, like, definitely an old hotel. It hasn't been updated in a while.
Ancient West Texas hotel, I don't know. It's definitely creepy, though. I've stayed in some hotels, done some traveling, and I can't say that I've ever had anything like that happen to me.
I've a long time ago, we went to Colorado with our parents, and we didn't stay there, but we were next to the hotel that inspired The Shining.
Oh.
And there's apparently a room there that is extremely haunted. That a lot of the stories that are in the Shining book are kind of inspired by what happens in that room sometimes.
Shining's a book? No, I'm just kidding. But I could see, though, like, if you heard this happening in the room next to you, it would be, you just think somebody was arguing, right? You wouldn't think anything of it. But I don't know if my reaction would be I need to go look through the keyhole.
If it got really bad, I would probably just call the cops. Like, hey, someone's getting beat next door to me. It would never be my idea that maybe I should go over there and knock on the door or look through the keyhole, because there's nothing that I can do that wouldn't aggravate the situation, right?
How old was this person?
He was a high school teacher, so I don't know how old he was, but
I mean, you shouldn't go looking through keyholes, you know?
I'm assuming he's probably an older gentleman who probably thought that
I could look through this keyhole. Is that what you're saying? Somebody asked if you went to Estes Park, Colorado. I don't know why they asked that.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we were in Estes Park.
It's Chadley P. wanted to know if you went to Estes Park. He said yes. Maybe somebody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty famous hotel, and it's quite a wonderful place to be at. Estes Park is amazing, and that hotel is huge, and it looks really creepy on the outside because it's old hotel.
No, definitely. I'm like, of course, you're getting a lot of like visual images. You got to like connect the dots, which is what makes this kind of creepy, right? Trying to picture what this looks like and what it is. And I'm picturing that for sure, like this old rundown. Like I don't want to say rundown and like, I don't want to say rundown in the sense of like nasty, right? Like bugs crawling out of the walls, but rundown in a sense like old, the age.
Yeah, something like Norman Bates Hotel, where like it's probably kept up but really old.
I wasn't thinking of that. Now I am, though. I can't get that out of my head. Norman Bates Hotel. Yeah, it may have been.
I mean, this one or the last one, probably a Norman Bates Hotel.
Yeah. Gosh, I what it was like the next time you went to a hotel, you know? What was running through his mind?
I bet he probably stayed at a more up-to-date place that he couldn't look through any keyholes.
I would imagine so.
Jeff Townsend Media. CG, good night.
And the question is, do I stay here? Will you be back? Are you gonna come back? Will you be back? Are you coming back?